Hey guys, Supreme Gaming here, back with my very first official video. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to easily solo Tier 1 and Tier 2 Enderman Slayer bosses with a relatively budget setup. And let's get right into the video. Alright, let's start out with the setup that we'll be using to solo Enderman bosses Tier 1 and 2. So, the setup that we'll be using is a pretty good setup that works well for me, that you'll easily be able to shred to Enderman bosses Tier 1, and you will fairly easily be able to do Enderman bosses Tier 2. And this is coming from me. I have a relatively low combat level. I'm only combat 38, and I do not have very many talismans, and they are reforged to damage. So the setup is an Ancient Reaper Mask, Necron, 3/4 Necron. Doesn't really matter if it's recommed or anything like that, or starred, because it's out of dungeons. A One for All Withered Reaper Scythe, a Wand of Atonement for healing, a Baby Yeti pet, legendary or epic, it does not matter, and I recommend you get one that's at least level 50, but the higher the level, the better it is, and a Mana Flux Power Orb. Mana Flux is kind of the best budget orb, but really any orb works no matter what. So now let's go over the prices. So the Reaper Mask costs about 10 million coins. To reforge it to Ancient, put potato books on and any ancients that you want to do. The Necron chestplate costs about 36 mil, and the leggings cost about 20 mil. The boots cost about 15 mil. This is if the boots were not recon, but it doesn't matter if they're reconned or not. So then the One for All Reaper Scythe costs about 22 million coins. And yet again, it does not need to be reconned. I just did it just because. And then the Wand of Atonement, which is extremely essential for healing, especially with the Reaper Mask because it doubles all healing that you receive, costs about 4 million right now. It's gone up and down, give or take a million the past couple days, but that's what it stayed at. And the Baby Yeti pet for a decent one, about level 60. Epic or legendary is about 20 million coins. This one was obviously a bit more because it's a bit higher level, but it does not matter as long as it's at least level 50, I say. And the rarity doesn't matter. And then a Mana Flux Power Orb is 3 million coins, but yet again, any power orb that you have at your disposal will work for this. So the total cost ends up coming to about 130 million, and that's give or take a bit here and there, because you never know if you want to recom some pieces, if you're extra rich and looking for a decent setup, or whatever. So that's the setup. Alright, now let's just do a quick avoid gloom search for Tier 1. This should be fairly easy, and there's really no strategy for this except for just for the hit phase. Pretty much you just want to spawn your Scythe mob in so you can tank that, and to have the boss attack your Reaper Scythe mob. And then really other than that, all you want to do is just spam your weapon on it. And if somehow you get low using this setup, which you will not with the Tier 1, you can use the Wand of Atonement to heal. And actually, with the Tier 1, you don't even need to use a Baby Yeti. Like, I'm using an Epic Tiger right now, which is like an extremely cheap, no, I actually gotta use Baby Yeti for this guy, but which is an extremely cheap pet to use, and it doesn't increase your damage by a lot, but it increases your DPS by a lot, because it grants you a fair amount of ferocity. So I like to do that just while I'm spawning the boss, and for Tier 1s, they are easy enough that you can just use it for the boss itself. So we're about to spawn a boss in here, and now I can show you guys pretty much how to do it. So let's spawn it in, place my orb down, now spawn my Reaper Scythe mob in for a sec. There we go, and oh, it did another hit space just because I can't one-tap it. There we go. That took a second. You can just constantly spam because it does so little damage that you can easily do Tiger Pet, and you don't even need to really spawn your Reaper Scythe mob, it's that easy. So now let's try a tier 2. Alright, now I've gone ahead and grounded up some Enderman or some Voidling Fanatics, and I am about to spawn in the tier 2 boss. Now the tier 2 boss is relatively similar to the tier 1 boss, except that instead of having Tiger Pet out, you're definitely going to need the Baby Yeti Pet to tank, and the second the boss spawns in, so you're gonna spawn your Reaper Scythe mob, which is definitely should be a high health mob to tank, and you want the Reaper Scythe mob to tank the first hits phase, and then the second the hits phase is over, just keep spamming your weapon. This can take up to like a minute or two, but immediately definitely place down your Mana Flux power or whatever power you have, and then just keep hitting it, and then near the end of this, it does get a bit more complicated, because what you have to do is, about halfway through the boss, it'll most likely go through about 2 hits phases, and what you have to do is the boss will start to carry this beacon around, and you can keep hitting it while it's holding it, but the second it'll throw the beacon onto the ground somewhere within about 20 blocks of you, and what you have to do is immediately go stand right next to the beacon, pretty much walk into the beacon for a second until the beacon disappears, because if you just let the beacon sit there for, I think it's either 5 or 10 seconds and don't do anything, it will instantly kill you. So that is a must. So now I'm gonna go ahead and spawn this boss in 1 second here. Alright. So I'm gonna put my Mana Flux down, summon this guy. I'm gonna go through the hits phase. Alright, now I'm just gonna go and spam my weapon. And I will definitely need to use my Wand of Atonement. Alright, so the beacon phase is about to start, and there we go. So he started to hold the beacon, and he threw the beacon back here, so what I'm going to do is just go stand right next to it, and it disappears. And then I can keep hitting him. He has another beacon in his hand, so I have to be ready. He threw it here, and you have to pretty much tap it with your body. So now I'm just going to keep doing this, and from here on out it is pretty much quite repetitive, and this is just the rest of the boss. And I definitely, if you're trying to grind low-level Enderman Slayer, I do recommend doing tier 2s, because tier 1s just are too slow to get good experience, so yeah. So this is pretty much the rest of it, and he's about to be dead. And now this did take me a bit longer than normally, because I'm a bit distracted talking while recording this, but yeah, that's it. And I'm nearly at the next Enderman Slayer level, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and tier 3s are upcoming next. They're a lot harder. Thank you guys so much. See you next video.